Ooh, she just went scorched earth.
These Democrats, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not trying to be racist, but they hate black people. These are the same people who fought to keep slavery in. These are the same people who built the KKK. The Republican Party is the party of the blacks. Blacks free, the Republican Party is the only party that the black people actually assisted in finding. And people say, oh, there was this big switch. There was never a big switch. So the same Democrats who hated black people from the beginning are the same ones who hate us now. And they use our cause. How did Black Lives Matter turn into something about LGBTQ? When blacks really don't support that. We're conservative. We're really not about that. Not only that, we don't support abortion. We're about work. This is the black culture. Not only that, we're not about feminism. No, we're not. Black women marry their husbands and respect their husbands. That's what we are.
So I was thinking, what if the reason Joe Biden felt comfortable enough to say, if we don't vote for him, we're not black, is the same reason why President L.B. Johnson said that he's going to have black people, or actually these N-words, voting Democrat for the next 200 years? Is it because they still view us as their property? And what I mean by that is both of these presidents were Democrat. And did you know the Democratic Party, historically speaking, was the party of segregation, slavery, the KKK, and racism? I don't know, but once I find enough dots, I start connecting them.
Many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling.
Malcolm X warned you to beware of the liberals. He told you that they were cunning and deceitful. And he was right. It was the liberals who killed the black man's spirit by convincing him he was still oppressed. It was the liberals who turned the white men against each other by telling them they're all inherently racist and privileged. It was the liberals who convinced women to make themselves undesirable by selling them promiscuity and misandry packaged as feminism. They told the transformers that their delusions are reality. They told the fats that it was self-hate to try and lose weight. They told the sad they're sick and the poor that they're victims of the rich. Because the liberals provide a unique form of self-sabotage disguised as compassion and social justice. This is why liberalism is such a cancerous religion. It preaches tolerance and love, but it teaches division and hate. It is the liberals who have created a society full of helpless, entitled people who are convinced that anyone who disagrees with or so much as questions their ideology is a Nazi who deserves.
I hope we're paying attention to us so when they run for, re-election again and say, hey, black community, because it's mostly the Democrats. Let's keep it a buck. Probably not all. When they say, hey, black community, it's time for y'all to get your black selves to the polls and vote for us. Because guess what? They ain't gonna do nothing for you specifically, but we need y'all because we can't do it without you, okay? We can't do it without you, but we need y'all to show up so we can show up for everybody else, right? When these immigrants get detained and, they need to come over here. If the Democrats are back in office, they're gonna let everybody come over here and they're gonna get all there is to get. We need y'all, Black Americans. We need y'all to show up so we can help them and kick you in the tailbone every time we get a chance, right? So y'all pay attention to that the next time they show up to your church. I doing fish fries anymore? The barbecue when they show up doing the Tootsie Roll with the the strippers to the poles and all of that. You remember that? Say no, not so fast, because I saw you was breaking your neck and even going to jail for people who should not even be here. But you wouldn't even break a sweat for Black Americans that are going through it, have gone through it, and will go through it until you take yourself in there and actually do something for the people who sent you to office.
But I never thought that I would see things change so fast, because Black America standing, 10 toes down. We're standing because we, know the truth. President Trump released the FBI files of Dr. King, and we've read everything. We got the blueprint for the next move. So we got to stand our ground and do what we got to do as human beings to basically, right the wrongs of the past. Because the Democratic Party, they like to say, oh, the party switched. No, the party didn't switch. They just make adjustments. because the party of slavery turned into the party of civil rights. Now the party of civil rights has turned into, you know, abortion, LGBTQ, and third, the immigrants and the migrants. Think about it. So now that the parties have switched, has been debunked, because the GOP is what they call the grand old party, the party of Lincoln. Okay, it's still the same party, the party that signed the Emancipation Proclamation, the party that allowed the newly freed slaves to fight for their freedoms and their liberties on the side of the federal government to defeat the Democratic Dixiecratic South.
This is who should really be paying reparations to the black community.
I'm saying one word, reparations. Who ends up paying for it? Let me ask you, just as a community.
I can tell you that. I feel that the Democratic Party should pay reparations to blacks, because it was in the 1800s when the Republicans, which was known as abolitionists, separated from the Dixiecrats because they did not want to continue slavery. So after the abolitionists helped black people become Republicans and they changed their name, black people were able to own businesses. They was able to create the Black Wall Street, Rosewood. They were the most wealthiest communities in the United States. And so it was the Democratic Party who created the Ku Klux Klan, and the Klan were the ones who hated the blacks for creating Black Wall Street, and that's why they dropped the bomb on Black Wall Street. It was the Klan that did that. Anybody owes black people money and reparation, it should be the Democratic Party.
If today's black community's problems are a result of intergenerational trauma of over 400 years of oppression, okay, specifically slavery time, then why was the immediate black community that came right after slavery, post-slavery, more functional than today's black community? Why are we more affected than they were? Why were they able to come out of slavery, be more successful, less violent, more functional, upward mobile than the black community now? And a lot of what I'm hearing is, oh, it's because of the 400 years of oppression, or it's because of Jim Crow, or it's because of slavery. But the people who actually lived during that time and it really experienced the brunt of that were more functional than the black communities of today. Can someone explain to me why that is? The post-slavery generations that were closer to the trauma were more successful than today's black community on a lot of metrics, and we're so far removed. Can someone answer that for me?
So let's talk about where the word good morning originated from. Good morning. All right, so during slavery times, when the women used to mourn about their child being...
Shut the fuck up! Y'all be so ready to be a goddamn slave, it's a fucking shame. You want to be a slave so motherfucking bad. The word good morning was made way before there was even black slaves, you stupid bitch. It was made way before that. It was described how good the morning is, you stupid motherfucker. You're so stupid motherfucker. I hate you Hebrew Israelites motherfucker. Soon as you get some new information, you want to go stand on the street tell a nigga what he don't fucking know. Go get a job, nigga. We can't even tell these bitch ass niggas good morning. We can't even say good morning because these niggas want to be oppressed. You can't tell me good morning, my good brother. Don't even mourn me, my good brother. Do you know the word morning? No, nigga. They spell different for a reason. Like there, and there. You stupid motherfuckers. You so stupid.
As a matter of fact, I've witnessed Charlie Kirk say things to my community. I am both black and a female, and say things like, you are not a victim. You don't have to have victimhood mentality. You are no longer a slave. You have the same resources and abilities that everyone else out here does. Stop allowing yourselves to be lower than other people, and stop allowing yourselves to live in this place of oppression when you are not being oppressed. Realize that you really can do whatever it is you want to do. Remember, these words are coming from a black female who has a master's degree. You cannot tell me that I am a victim and that I am under some super racist, oppressive system that is keeping me down when I have done so much more than my ancestors ever had the ability to do. I wanted to go to college and I did it. I wanted to play sports and I did it. I wanted to be a coach and I did it. I wanted to be a teacher and I did it. And guess what? Not one time could anybody stop me from doing what I set my mind to do. And that's the message that Charlie Kirk had. And sadly, I think a lot of people would rather be victims and blame other people for why they are not progressing.
Got this comment today. You got all these white folks calling you sister and they'd never shake your hand. First of all, people that use YT for the word white are always some of the biggest racists. Secondly, I'm getting really tired of this. Like, you guys have created a boogeyman in your mind that does not exist. As someone who used to be on the left and is on the right now, I have been treated so well since I've made the switch. In fact, it's people on the left that treat me like I have the plague and try to get me banned and call me racial slurs. I've been to a lot of right-leaning events. I've been to Trump rallies. I have a lot of right-leaning friends on social media, and guess what? All of them would shake my hand.
The only thing that pisses me off about the left is that every single time I post something about being a black conservative, they always want to go, oh, well, they're never going to accept you. You're never going to be one of them. They're never going to do anything for you. Okay, cool. I don't want to be one of them, whatever that means. They don't need to do anything for me. Everything that I've ever achieved or received is because of me and my work ethic alone. Every single job I've had, promotion I've had, school I've gotten into, grade that I've received is because of me and me alone. Not because of my skin color, but because of my merit. While you sit over there and play the oppression game and wait for another government handout, I'm out here grinding and working and getting the things that I'm setting out to receive. And it has nothing to do with my skin color, but everything to do with the content of my character. Thank you.
You've enabled racism.
Like
That's
Larry
not
Elder,
the only name that
like
you know.
Dr. Ben Carson.
Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah, Dr. Ben Carson.
Oh, yeah.
Would a racist host the nation's largest young black leadership summit?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
People like this do not seriously consider the things that they're screaming about racist. They're using a term that they're hopeful actually shuts down conversation. They're hopeful that you back down. Maybe there's something in you that feels some form of guilt for historic racism, and that you'll begin to walk back your line of reasoning and argumentation. What they've done is they've diminished the word so that it now means absolutely nothing. If those who truly suffered racism were alive and well today, they repudiate this kind of activity. I argue that many of them are actually rolling over in their graves, having suffered real racism, like Jim Crow, like post-slavery, like slavery. They're rolling in their graves at what people now call racism. They've redefined it, they've restructured it, so now it actually means words I disagree with, issues I disagree with.
Barack Obama says your White House is dividing the country and you're exploiting Kirk's death to attack Democrats.
We're not exploiting Charlie Kirk's death to do anything except for achieve justice. And I think if Barack Obama, I haven't seen that comment, Jesse, but if he said that, that's absolutely disgusting. What we're trying to do is understand how young people are getting radicalized and who is funding all of these efforts at radicalization. We saw this in the summer of 2020. Now, thank God that wasn't primarily, actually over 20 people died in the riots in the summer of 2020. That is political terrorism. But it's not just the people who are killing the cops. It's not just the people who are engaging and throwing the Molotov cocktails and in the riots. Where was the money coming from? Who was organizing this violent activity? That is not going after Democrats unless, by implication, you're saying every single Democrat is involved in planning political violence. If that's true, then the problem isn't on Barack Obama's side. We're going to get to the bottom of the truth, and we're going to stop the political violence. And we're going to do it however we have to do it, of course, within the constitutional limits that Charlie loves so much.
Y'all be so mad at white people for hating niggas, but y'all don't like niggas. You don't want to be around them. You don't want your children to go to school with them, and you move out of their neighborhoods the first chance you get, trying to assimilate with whiteness. And quite frankly, the more destructive the behavior is, it is rewarded. And the more toxic the image is, it is celebrated. Disgusting. And y'all so quick to try to hold white people accountable, but don't hold the activists accountable. Don't hold these celebrities accountable. These rappers that is feeding dysfunction right directly into the community, that is directly affecting you and your people. But it's the white man's fault, right? No, it is your fault. It is your mother's fault. And it is the people that raised you fault. It is the culture, okay? The culture is the problem. The culture is toxic, and the skin worship is disgusting. And if you can't see that the Black community is in a steep decline, then your eyes are not open, and you need to pay attention to the situation that you're in, because nobody is coming to save you. We are in a freaking state of emergency in the Black community.
Y'all want to know what a wise man once told me? He said the best way to end racism is to stop talking about it. If you agree with that, let me get a thumbs up in the comments.
Bedwench Coon, Uncle Tom Bootlicker. The minute we leave the Democrat Party, here come the black and white liberals. They don't debate us, they degrade us. For all the white liberals claiming they care about us, what do we actually have to show for it? Handouts, government assistance, dependency disguised as compassion. But has any of that protected or progressed the black community? No. It's only kept us obedient, predictable, and profitable. Ownership conflated with love and desire for progress until you progress past them. They don't want freedom. They want control. Our votes, our dollars are pain repackaged and sold through race-based organizations making millions off of your oppression story. But yeah, I escaped the Democrat plantation, and you and your dogs will never sniff me out.
We don't need any more nigger big shots.
I learned a lot, and I learned that, and Corn Pop was a bad dude. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. They're going to put you all back in chains.
I think the two-party system, although my Democratic colleagues don't like me saying this, I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black in the South. Other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind.
In terms of foreclosures, in terms of bad loans that were these Shylocks who took advantage. Before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not? What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say?
There's not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career.
I absolutely condemn these messages, but I also condemn this. Open and obvious. Imagine what he would have said in his group chat.
Like, man, I'm not going to listen to a whole bunch of folk get up every morning talking about, oh, Lord, we scared. We in trouble. Oh, Lord, I'm so scared for us. Why? Black folk have been through the worst. And people in the South, bruh, hey, man, we've been through the worst. Remember, our parents and our grandparents, they didn't go nowhere. They sat right here with the Klan. They sat here right here with anybody that wanted to do something and still raised these families and still got them made a legacy for us. So, hey, man, I'm not from the crew that was the runners. I'm from the stayers.
Y'all listen up. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Conservative ain't got nothing to do with racism or race or anything like that. It's where you come from, it's how you were raised, and the values that you believe in. One America, all united. That's it. That's all.
And I'm loving every bit of this. Black folks is waking up, making America great again. Play the clip.
The mega movement is happening with the black folks.
It sure is.
People starting to realize, hey, MAGA don't care about your color.
Facts.
MAGA love America.
That's right.
It's all big family. It ain't like the Democrat Party, Republican Party. MAGA is, we about America. America first. We don't care what your race is. Everybody family.
Facts.
It's all about love for your country.
Yup.
It ain't about taking care of all these other countries. It's about taking care of America first. Making America safe. Making America healthy. And I love it. Making our military strong. That's right. Holding people accountable. Thank you, Lord. Draining the swamp. Drain it, baby. Y'all letting these people play in y'all faces, man. That's right. Man, we see through that. Y'all brainwashed. That's right. Y'all can't see why the government shut down? So y'all really want circumcisions in Rwanda? But anyway, let's go, MAGA. Facts. We up, baby. These are the voices that matter. He is 100% correct. MAGA don't care what color you are. All we care about is if you're American and you love America too. That's all that matters. Don't matter if you're black, brown, purple, orange. Don't matter. We don't care. MAGA is all about making America great again, putting America's first, and leaving our damn kids alone and having a little bit of principle and moral. That's it. Pretty simple. BLMAGA. Black Lives Making America Great Again. I love it. These are the voices that matter. We're going to bring unity. We got to gut out this cancer of wokeness. Goodness, and these liberals, these white liberals and their craziness with he, they, them, shay, shoom, sham, woom. I'll digress. Remember, folks, for more mean tweet commentary, be sure to subscribe to your boy's YouTube channel. Make sure you find me on X and Facebook. It's Craig Long 45. And I'm on Instagram is official Craig Long 45. Get the message, you wokesters.
I think the best way for Democrats to kind of dig out of this hole is to really stop with the fear mongering on Trump. I think voters see the president every single day, and fear of him isn't a strategy. It's at this point just an excuse for not having a broader plan.
Donald Trump shows me what's politically possible. Trump shows me what presidents can do if they want to do it. Donald Trump shows me what can be said if you are willing to say it. It's not about what can't be done. It's about who has the political will to do it. I don't want to hear a peep from Democrats about nothing until they get the balls to say what's really on their mind in regards to this country and this world. Trump doesn't care if it sounds ridiculous. Trump doesn't care if it makes sense. It's no political correctness whatsoever. As I've been saying for years, the language of politics is dead, and Donald Trump killed it. Period.
Well, wow. Look at my boy. Look at my boy. Look at him. Look at him, y'all. Look at him. You better look at him. Look at him right now. Look at him. Look at my president. That's my president. Oh, that's my president. That's my president.
A high-ranking Democrat consultant just confessed that the 34 felony charges against Trump were not the result of legitimate legal proceedings. Take a look.
One of Pete's longtime advisors, Liz Smith, seemed to let the cat out of the bag this week, telling CNN all those felony convictions against the president were not a real case, just part of a planned Democrat Party resistance.
Why the base is mad at some of the leaders in Washington is not because they're not left enough. It's because, Chuck Schumer came out with no strategy, no forewarning, and just said, we're going to fold on the CR. I mean, I think he could have done a better job of explaining what the strategy was and what we're going to do, but there wasn't anything like that. I think Democrats are learning, and I'm going to agree with you, that Democrats cannot only be the party of resistance. We cannot, we resisted so hard between 2017 and 2024. We impeached the guy, we prosecuted him, convicted him of 34 felony counts, and guess what? He still got elected. So I don't know how much harder we can resist right now.
Are you admitting that, that the case against Trump in New York was part of the organized Democratic Party resistance?
It was a Democratic prosecutor, and at the time, I said I thought it was unwise. I went on Fox News and said
there were Democrats who said this at the time.
There were a lot.
Just to be clear, everybody who now touts the 34 felonies, take it from Liz. This was not a real case. This was a plot to upend the presidential campaign, which
I just think it was a boneheaded move by Alvin Bragg.
The same people who've been screaming free Palestine from their college campuses and their TikTok lives are suddenly dead silent now that Trump, actually brokered a deal that ended the war in Gaza. Not only that, Hamas just released the last 20 living hostages. Every single one of them. Families reunited, people going home. Hold up, you said you wanted peace, right? You said you wanted the bombs to stop, the people free, the hostages home. Well, guess what? That happened. Hostages released, troops pulled back, deal signed. And the man that you said would start World War III just did what every world leader with a Nobel Peace Prize couldn't pull off with a magic wand and a PR team. Now you've got the Free Palestine crowd stuck between their slogans and their feelings. Because peace wasn't supposed to come from the guy that they spent 8 years trying to call Hitler. I mean, imagine a full-blown meltdown right now. Wait, no, that's not our kind of peace. It's orange peace. We don't accept that. You were chanting for peace, and the universe said, boom, courtesy of Trump Tower. And suddenly your Instagram story activism went missing like Hunter's laptop. Even Pakistan's prime minister got up there and said this man deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. He didn't tweet peace, he did peace. And the same liberals who cried no justice, no peace are out here pretending like nothing happened because it doesn't fit their narrative. Pelosi won't even give acknowledgement. Shocker. So let's make this plain for the slow ones in the back. The man they canceled, impeached, just did what you all claimed to fight for, and now you're mad about it. The hypocrisy is loud and the silence is even louder. And the guy who did it was supposed to be the world's biggest threat. Huh. Yeah, okay.
I thought y'all said D.C. was going to be looking like Germany in the 1930s. If you go around D.C. and talk to the residents after Trump's decision to federalize the city, it sounds like the residents pretty happy to me. It's crazy. Every time Trump do something, y'all had this emotional ass outrage. Then the shit that y'all say is going to happen never happens. Just like y'all said we was going to be slaves again when he got elected. But anyway, after it doesn't happen, it's straight silence. Then y'all bitching about something else. Make it make sense.
Donald Trump, no matter what you think about him, is the only president in my lifetime, no matter how crazy or extreme his promises is to his base, he attempted to fulfill every damn promise to them. You gotta be straight up and give him credit for that. Donald Trump, though, has an end game that's on a whole nother level, in my opinion. This man has flirted with the idea and even publicly said it, I could run for a third term. There's ways to do it.
See, Barack Obama received the award for his, quote, extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. I don't even know what that means. I think it's code for he's a popular Democrat, therefore we're going to give him the award. Even though I'm not sure if he actually solved peace anywhere. President Trump in his last two presidencies has actually labeled himself, and I actually tend to agree with him on this, as the peace president. I will never forget when he was running for office and he made this very poignant point. He said, I am on the side of people not dying. And that's exactly what he did this week. I'm actually so proud of the decisions and the efforts that he has made, and I want to continue to see this moving forward. And then next on the docket is going to be the Ukraine-Russian issue. Yeah. The blueprint is already set for that. Kudos to the president.
I don't know about deflation and costs coming down. All I can tell you is that the inflation rate itself was 2.7% in the most recent read year over year versus it got to a high of 9% under Biden. Stocks are at record highs. Unemployment is 4.2%. That's full employment. The GDP was 3%. The border is actually secure. We've got trade deals with EU, Japan, many more in the works, and trillions of dollars of foreign investment coming here. Iran's nuclear ambitions have been set back indefinitely. And I just wrote down a few things. So I just have to ask you, where is the calamity that you're talking about? And it almost seems like for Democrats, socialism is the answer to these problems. Or, I don't know, an end of democracy or something? We just don't get it.
I don't know how it go in your city, town, state. But in Chicago, when we go vote, you always got 2-3 women at the door telling you to vote all Democrat. They don't give you the history of nobody. They don't tell you what neighborhood these people from. They tell everybody in line, just vote blue. Now tell me what type of... I'm done, bro. I'm voting red.
Trump have done more for black people than any other president in history of America.
I like Trump because I have taken the time
to
listen to him. I'm not just listening to the fake news. I see what he does. I see he's genuine.
Yes.
Also, before he ran for president, he was loved by everybody. And all of a sudden, because he wants to be a president, and people don't want him to be a president, he's suddenly a racist when he's not a racist. Thank you very much.
What do people in the black community, which is a very generalized term, but like, do people agree with you? Do your friends and family agree?
Yeah, they love Trump. They love Trump. All our black community love Trump.
I would say there's some black people who just hate white people anyway, generally.
I'm running as a Republican. Is that okay? Oh, yeah, I voted for Trump. Okay, yeah. Cool. Everybody in the house hate me.
So the Republicans are like this apartment complex right here. I thought I was gonna have some problems.
No, man.
but everybody seems pretty open.
Yeah.
So
If you got to understand that blacks were Republican before we were Democrat.
a lot of people don't know that, or they say the party switched.
Yeah. I'm in here watching what he's gonna do with Chicago right now.
Oh man, did you hear the other day he's trying to fix the housing, so he's trying to go away with the closing costs. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Hey, I
excited.
hope you get it.
Thank
I hope
you.
you get it. And
Brandon?
congratulations. Yes, ma'am.
Can I get your birthday coming up?
Yeah, I think in 3 weeks or 2. something like
Okay,
that.
well, happy early birthday.
You
But you
too.
guys will see me a few more times before Election Day. Did I give you a card?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. God bless you.
All righty.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real.
Just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal.
Pissed off the black women. Apparently, I'm not allowed to speak on black women because I'm not black. But I don't do very well with being told what things I can't do, so I'm going to do it anyway. So buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go. So currently, Stephen A. Smith is in hot water with black women because he called out Jasmine Crockett for spending more time online talking about Trump than actually doing anything to help her people in her district. I can tell you that agreeing with Stephen A. politically was not on my 2025 bingo card, but here we are. So let's dive into some numbers, shall we? So Jasmine Crockett's district is District 30, which covers Dallas, South Dallas, and Oak Cliff. If you know anything about that area, you already know that is not the best part of town to be in. And she's only making things worse. So let's talk about some numbers. Homelessness is up 4% in 1 year in her district. Homicides are up 23%. The average rent price has increased by 26%, while evictions are back up to pre-pandemic rates. And food insecurities are 16% across Dallas County, which makes it one of the highest in the nation. Or do you want to talk about how the schools in her district have gone down in math and reading? They went from a B to a C in a matter of a year. Stephen A. was completely validated in everything he said about Jasmine Crockett, and the facts back it up. Now, if you have the same skin color as me, then go ahead and leave your comments. If not, you're not allowed to talk on this. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that racist? This was fun. Have a day.
I just want to ask black folks something. Why do y'all want to be oppressed so bad? Why do y'all want to experience the slavery mentality? I don't give a fuck about slavery. I've never been a slave and I don't plan on being one. I'm not going to drag the chains of my ancestors into my life. The generational curses stop here. The slave mentality stop here. Because to be honest with you, I've never been oppressed. I've never been held back. I've never been hurt by anybody white. You know who I've been hurt the most by, held back, and people that have stopped me from gaining things? Were people that look like me. I only been oppressed by my own people. And that's the sad part. They want you to turn a blind eye to their cruelty to us, their own people. I've never been hurt or held back by anybody white. I only been hurt and held back by the people that look like me. Let that sink in. Call me a bootlicker all you want, but you ain't gonna call me a liar.
Stephen A. Smith said this about the ghetto black bitch.
This educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fun when you in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you?
Stephen A. Smith was talking about Jasmine Crockett and her ghetto-ass behavior on Capitol Hill. Her ghetto and masculine attitude does more harm than good on Capitol Hill. It makes black people look goofy. That ghetto and street attitude reinforces the stereotypes that we have put on us. But because niggas love niggas shit and niggas will defend niggas for anything that niggas do, black people have been calling out Stephen A. Smith saying that he's a sellout and a coon for saying this about Jasmine Crockett. Black women like Jasmine Crockett are doing more damage to black people than Stephen A.'s rhetoric could ever do to black people. She has done more harm to black women who are trying to make it, who are actually doing well, when she sits there and does this ghetto bitch attitude and act.
Jasmine Crockett, you are such a whiny fucking bitch. For those of you that don't know, she posted on X, she says, oh, raising hell at home and then pretending to be the president of peace is diabolical. Well, you know what's really fucking diabolical? Aside from you sitting in Congress doing absolutely nothing except running your fucking gums, flapping your big fake fucking eyelashes and flipping your fake fucking hair, is the fact that you can sit in Congress and collect a paycheck and do nothing but bitch and fucking moan about the country that you're supposed to love, that you're supposed to represent, and the people that you're supposed to represent. All you do is bitch and fucking complain. And the best part of it is that you pretend to be this victim, that I'm a girl in the hood and I don't know how everybody does. You've had it better than 99% of the fucking people that I know, okay? That I had to fucking struggle. I didn't go to fucking law school. I don't sit in fucking Congress. I don't stomp my little fucking Louboutin all over the place and yell at the people in my office to get shit done for me like a spoiled fucking twat, which is exactly what you are. So maybe you should show some fucking gratitude that our people got freaking sent back, returned home and shit like that, and everything that the president did. He made fucking peace. You just want trouble. You just want war. You just want strife because you're a miserable fucking bitch. And you know what? There's a remedy for that. It's called the fucking Dean. Maybe if you got off your fucking high horse, somebody'd want to throw you one. Dumb bitch.
So I see Stephen A. Smith getting a lot of heat and criticism from the black community. I even saw that video with the chick, I don't know her name. She's got like a red flower in her hair, just going in on Stephen A. Smith. You know, he's a coon, he's a sellout, all of these different things, right? Stephen A. Smith is finding out what every black man finds out when they start thinking for themselves. When we start thinking for ourselves and get away from the narrative, or as I like to call it, the unspoken Negro contract, where we have to adhere to certain things, we become sellouts, coons, and every other thing but a child of God.
Okay. Remember when Trump brought Elon Musk and Doge to Washington and the Democrats lost their minds, right? They lost their minds because finally somebody was looking at the budgets. Somebody was looking at the money and seeing where it was actually going and what this money was being allocated towards. And we found out it was all kind of crazy things, right? Well, guess what? The state of Michigan. The Republicans have found out that the Democrats in the state of Michigan, they've got a whole scheme going with fake jobs and surgeries for transgendered people and on and on and on, that totals up to something like, what, 4 or 5 billion with a B in the state of Michigan. Money that they have been stealing and funneling back to the Democrats.
And that's a fact. So now, we got to be adults and understand that the Democratic Party is the party of slavery. It's the party of the KKK, the party of Jim Crow, the party of hanging and public lynchings and all of that, the party of mass incarceration. And it's the party of the devil. It's a fact.
The Democratic Party, I'm going to say it tonight.
Listen closely.
So that you won't be confused, is the Antichrist Party.
Thank you.
It is anti-family.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say this, you're not going to believe it, but it is anti-black folk.
Thank you.
You are only needed for votes.
Thank you.
Only loved when it's time to get your votes. There's no real care about you. And see, we still stuck and we got that thing ingrained in us that this is the party for the black man. It is not. The party has changed. Black people, really, to be honest with you, have never been the priority. They have only been used. Go back and look at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We've all given Democrats credit for that, but Johnson was the one that wanted to pass it, but he couldn't get enough Democrat votes to pass it. It was the Republicans that pushed and passed the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Go tonight and look it up. Look at Wiki, W-I-K-I, put it in there, 1960. He couldn't even get enough Democrats to vote for it. So he had to go to Republican senators in order to help him out. They are anti-life. The party pushes stuff that's anti-life. It pushes anti-morality because most of their policies are immoral. That pushes sexual perversion.
Thank you.
It is the party of death. Why do you say that, Pastor? If you go back, you'll see slavery started with the Democratic Party.
Thank you.
And we saw many slaves that died. We also saw under Jim Crow. Jim Crow was established by Democrats. And we saw under Jim Crow how many were hung and lynched. And then we are seeing today how many babies, African American people are giving up their future because they won't have, in another 15, 20 years, they won't have enough people because they have cut their birth rates off and have aborted their children. This is exactly what the party wants. So it is a party of death when it comes down to it. It is a party that is against black families. Look at the history of the family.
What's up, guys? I just got a phone call from a friend of mine who was asking me about this federal government shutdown. And we're talking about it, and it dawns on me that he is in the federal government. He's in the United States military, and he's going on about how he's not going to get a paycheck. And we're talking about who's really to blame here. And it boils down to this simple thing right here. The Democrats don't care. This is the Schumer lockdown, and the Democratic Party has decided to side with illegal immigrants over the U.S. military. The Democrat Party is siding with illegal immigrants over the American taxpayer. The Democrat Party is siding with illegal immigrants instead of law and order and reopening the federal government to make sure essential workers like the United States military get a check. The Democrats just don't care.
That's why shutting the government is really what the Democratic Party wants to do. And I follow country, then party. And it's the wrong thing for the country in a period of chaos. I refuse to vote to shut our government down. I absolutely would love to have... I would love to have a conversation about extending the tax credits for healthcare. Absolutely. But I would remind everybody, too, this was designed by the Democratic Party to expire at the end of the year. This is not something taken by the Republicans. They were designed to expire. Now let's have a conversation to extend it and not shut our government down.
Why are Democrats still on here talking about the Republicans forced the government shutdown when your little minion leaders, AOC and Bernie Sanders, were just on the TV, and Bernie Sanders says out of his own mouth, well, if we reopened the government, we would lose all our leverage to get the things that we want. What? Well, it's a Republican-controlled Senate. Yeah, okay, they still need Democratic votes. We don't have a large enough majority to pass 60 votes on our own. Like, I feel like you guys genuinely don't even care. You guys just see a TikTok about, oh, Republicans caused a shutdown, and then that's just what you roll with.
Look, I'm one of a handful of people that don't take corporate PAC money. I don't understand my Democratic
What
Party.
about APAC money? You take APAC money, don't you?
A minuscule percentage of my resources come from
I read it's like 800,000.
Yeah, but that's a lifetime number.
Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved.
Yes.
But if I'm part of that corruption, I'll defend it.
If you're not sure what to protest about next, fear no more, I got you covered. The next time your party leaders choose a presidential candidate behind closed doors without holding a fair primary, start a No Kings protest. The next time politicians try to force medical decisions on you, like take the jab or lose your job instead of giving you freedom of choice, start a No Kings protest. The next time they silence journalists or ban accounts all over social media or call dissent misinformation just to control the narrative, start a No Kings protest. The next time they send billions of taxpayer dollars overseas while Americans struggle to pay rent, groceries, and gas, start a No Kings protest. The next time unelected bureaucrats create laws through agencies instead of letting Congress vote, start a No Kings protest. The next time they try to control speech by labeling your beliefs as hate just to shut you up, start a No Kings protest. And the next time they pretend to care about democracy but silence their political opponents, you sure as hell better march your asses out on those streets and start a No Kings protest instead of always rolling over like a little bitch and doing as you're told.
The richest country in the world could not send the so-called Africans back to Africa. So you telling me that the richest country in the world could not afford, after all of that free labor in those concentration camps, could not afford to send the so-called Africans back to Africa? Yes, my people, America could afford to send the so-called Africans back to Africa, but we're not African. You better believe, as much as they act like they don't like that we are here, that if we were from another country, they would have sent us there long ago. My people, if black people in America were from Africa, they would have created ICE 200 years ago and would have successively deported each and every last one of us. But they can't, because we're not from Africa. If black people in America were from any other country in the world, they would have deported us long ago. My people, we are from right here.
And you know what? You Democrats ought to be ashamed of yourself. You people out there voting for these people. Do you know what they've done? They basically allowed a foreign army to come into this nation, and they are preparing themselves for a civil war. They have opened the floodgates up to a foreign army, an invasion that they are going to activate at will. And this is why Donald Trump is sending in the National Guard. Trump's sending in the National Guard because they told these illegals to come up here, and the federal government has said, "Hey man, why don't you, if you arrest these illegals, or if you have your police out, if you see one, call us, we'll come get them." They said, "No, we're not just going to not get them for you. We're going to give them sanctuary. We're going to give them food. We're going to give them clothing. We're going to give them shelter." It's like you housing an army. The Democrats want money to make sure that illegal immigrants can have access to medical care here in America. That's all it is. Democrats' proposal will once again allow those improperly granted asylum and parole under Biden's open border scheme to receive Medicaid. Democrat proposals will require Medicaid to pay more for emergency care provided to illegal aliens than it does for American patients who are disabled, elderly, or children. Let me tell you what's going on here. It's kind of complicated, so kind of stick with me. Okay, Democrats in these blue cities and blue states are bleeding citizens. Democrats have to keep these citizens so they can keep their congressional numbers, but also they need them for the Electoral College. You got 435 members of the Congress, you got 100 in the Senate. That's 535. You need a majority of that number to win the presidency. So whatever state has the most members of Congress, all of them have two senators. But the congressional numbers are divided based on population. So you have a state like California has a whole lot of congressmen, and they have a whole lot of what? Electoral College votes. Because the Electoral College votes are counted by the two senators you have and the amount of congressmen that you have.
So I will tell you right now, I'm a person that lives on the south side of Chicago, and the migrants that have come in, at one point they were coming in, we were feeling very sorry for them because they came in at a time where the weather was cold. So we're seeing all these people in tents and all this and that, but then we find out that they're getting $15,000 in food stamps, $5,000 in cash. I work for a company, which I will not say, that they're able to come in and they're able to get internet and Wi-Fi and all of this for free because guess what? The government are paying their rent for 2 years. Why is the government paying people that came from another country rent for 2 years? Can we explain that? Because it's a housing crisis right now with multiple homeless people on the streets right now that I could follow and show you homeless people that's been living on the streets. So what makes the migrants better from coming to another country that they get all of this? You know why? I'm going to say why. So if we make these migrants democratic and we give them the right to vote and we give them all of these things, they're going to vote, and then boom.
An apartment complex full of American citizens after midnight on a...
You forgot to mention the part where they arrested 37
illegal immigrants, mostly from Venezuela. You also forgot the part where that specific apartment complex was known to be frequented and housing Venezuelan gang members, which they did indeed arrest 2 of them. As far as the undocumented children go, well, you know what's heartbreaking? It's not the laws, it's the manipulation of the law. When people come here illegally, have children, and use those children as anchors instead of blessings, that is exploitation, not love. Every child deserves a parent that will protect them, not someone that's going to use them as leverage for a political or personal agenda. You guys also always forget the part where parents absolutely have the option to take the children in the deportation process. Do they ever choose that option? No. They exploit their child, leave them here by themselves so that the American taxpayer can pay for that.
It took Trump 2 weeks to clean up the crime in Memphis. The residents are saying they never felt this safe. They're showing that the kids they are outside playing, and they are saying that they haven't heard gunshots. They've never been able to feel this safe. And some residents are saying in 5 years. And you expect the Democratic Party, Brandon Johnson and J.D. Pritzker, expect us to believe crime is down. I keep telling you all, it's nothing you can tell us. When crime is down, the residents will know crime is down. We feel it. We can tell it. We know that we are safe. We can go outside and say, hey, crime is down, because we know what's going on in our community. How dare Brandon Johnson and J.D. Pritzker try to convince us in Chicago that crime is down when Brandon Johnson have 150 police detail following him and his family around everywhere they go.
Hey, check this shit out real quick.
I see our mayor and all that against that shit. Our mayor need his ass whooped. I'm a real street. I ain't gonna sit here and say I want to see all our people dying. No, we need that shit, man. That shit I got kids out there, gang. I got 11 kids, man. I want to see my kids grow up. If we got that shit in Chicago, let them come, gang. That'll save a lot of lives, gang. I ain't on no rat riding around looking for to kill every day in the rat. Like, that shit ain't what's up, gang. On Steve, blood. Like,
you hear that shit? That's from a nigga that was really in that shit and got out of that shit. That shit ain't cool. Niggas grow up and really realize that shit ain't what it is. Nobody want to walk out their house every day in America wondering if this gonna be your last day on earth because some nigga in they fluffies. Then it's sad. It be the motherfuckers who ain't spent the day in the trenches that want the police not to come around that bitch. I be wanting us to kill each other. Motherfuckers really starting to understand it take real pressure to change the shit that's going on. It don't make sense that we losing random motherfuckers in our community because of bitching their feelings. Shit, at bare minimum, teach motherfuckers that you can use your hands over a gun. A good ass whooping is a character builder. You don't like the problem in Chicago and other cities like that when the police and the government finish cleaning that shit up? Make sure the problem don't fucking come back. Teach these kids out here, bro, there's better ways to solve your problems than killing somebody. Get these fathers back in the home. Get these families back in church. That's the way we change our fucking community.
We don't want them in our community. Let them go back to where they came from. Because it's my position that if you have a problem with your country, then you stay and you make it better by fighting that government, making your government do what it needs to do by its people, because that's what we do in this country. That's what I've been doing all of my life. I don't have any place to run to. America is my home. It's my country. We built it.
If you are illegally in the United States of America, you gotta go home. Listen, hold on. We cannot draw a false equivalence. Black people cannot be equated to illegal aliens. Black people have fought in this country, died in this country, fought in wars. We had to work to get free from slavery, citizenship, right to vote. These people came over here last night looking for the same rights and opportunities as black people. That's crazy to me. The penalty for being illegally in America is deportation. That's according to the law. Now, we can do it with dignity, but you still got to get up out of here. And they should not have the same ability, because the anchor baby status that they're utilizing today, and this is what made me mad about people like us. How we let them just usurp authority and position over us. They are prioritizing illegal aliens to replace the black vote.
That is a decent resume, but go ahead.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
I like I like the some people say. Very nice, but go ahead.
I think that, to be very honest with you, I do believe that we should have rightly believed, but we certainly believe that certain issues are just settled. All signs point to good work having happened, but more work to get done.
What the hell just happened?